Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is episode 61, and we have a little bit of something different than we've done before. Kind of a spur of the moment, sort of. Yeah, it took a bit of preparation, but I think it will work out. I hope. If it doesn't, well,
too bad.
Yeah,
I'll deal with it.
Blame Alcatraz. Yes. Speaking of which, I'm Nemesis, and yes, like I said, Alcatraz. He's here. He's the other guy talking.
Yep. Hi.
Yes. Yeah. Hi. And I hope you all had a good week. Didn't make any dumb decisions. Hope you ponied responsibly. So yeah, we have some news, like usual, and some fan content and a comic, and a discussion later on about conventions of all things.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense. So, because convention season is officially underway, so let's get this going. Because speaking of conventions, we got some news from them. But if you want to follow along, pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. Links to the convention news and all that stuff is there. So, Buck has posted wave 3 of the vendors' merchandise that will be at the con. So, interested in buying stuff there, more listings. So, your decisions become much harder for how to spend your money. BronyCon has announced details of their cosplay costume contest, art contest, and open mic. Everfree Northwest has announced their art track. They've also updated their event schedule to make your own custom schedule, plus they put an interactive vendor map up on the site.
It's really useful.
Yeah. And they've also updated some stuff about their cosplay contest. Yeah. Just more details, so check those out. They've reconfirmed that Tony Fleeks is attending their con, because apparently it was already known, but they just officially announced it, so...
Yeah, he's been in the vendor hall listings for a while now.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why he wasn't officially announced so recently. I think it wasn't, they just didn't have him scheduled for panels or anything until possibly recently. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he's going to be there, in case you didn't already know. Also, if you're attending, you can get your badges the evening before the con from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. this Thursday. Useful if you're trying to avoid the line, which is...
Yeah, and that's for pre-reg people.
Yes, pre-registered. If you
if you haven't registered, you still have to wait till the day of.
Yeah. I mean, we could, but it's kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
So, who knows? A Brony Tale has listed showtimes and locations for screenings of the documentary. Check out their site for the list and links to buy the tickets. So yeah, most of them are July 8th, and apparently, according to iTunes, it's going to be released for download and stuff July 15th. So you might hear from us soon about that.
Yep.
In merchandise news, and here we go, here's the bulk of the news. Some Rainbow Rocks concept art has shown up online, and some might find it interesting how the line was developed in the first place, because some of it's wildly different from what we got in the final designs. Like, AJ in particular, like,
wow. It's like, whoa, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, in fact, apparently Pinky had a cupcake skirt thing. It was really weird looking.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to see how that, if you like behind the scenes stuff like that, go check it out. Rainbow Rocks, Octavia, and Fluttershy figures with ponies have had their official images revealed. They were both revealed at the New York Toy Fair earlier this year, so if you want just better pictures that aren't just surrounded by weird lighting and stuff, there you go. Nice clean pictures. No word yet about when and where you can get them. The Pony Mania EQG Zecora doll that we've previously mentioned is now in Canadian Toys R Us stores, so if you're looking, there you go, which means it's going to be coming to the US pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how it works with Hasbro stuff. I'm not sure why, but Canada seems to get stuff like a good 2 weeks or so before the U.S. Whatever.
No clue why.
Some Wild Rainbow CMC Equestria Girls dolls have appeared on Taobao, which pretty much kind of confirms, along with this next thing, which is Wild Rainbow folders have appeared on Target, apparently. And apparently also have Dash, but this kind of confirms it's some sort of cross-line thing, just like Pinkie Pie's Boutique or Pony Mania and whatnot. Just this weird cross-line, sub-line thing. I'm still not sure what Wild Rainbow is, though. It's probably going to be just like
Pinkie Pie's Boutique. That's probably just a line that has nothing to do with the show.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be like a CMC-only thing, but then the folders from Target have Dash in them?
Yeah.
So...
It's like, okay, well, Rainbow... Dash,
I guess, but still, it's just kind of odd.
All right. It's just another line to make money. That works.
Bearing the Celestia from last week, a fashion-style Luna has appeared on Taobao, and she also has the music notes and whatnot on her wing, so I guess that's going to be a thing. Probably again for Rainbow Rocks, because
why not?
Why not? And also in Taobao, a brushable Nurse Redheart has appeared. I don't believe she's gotten a brushable figure before, so...
Neat.
She's had a blind bag, but I believe this will be the first brushable. The Gameloft My Little Pony game is now available on Windows 8 and Windows Phone 8, not Windows Phone 7, as I found out. So if you're one of the few people who don't have an iOS or Android device, or just want to play it on your desktop, you're now in luck.
Mm.
And yeah, I helped apparently my mom wants to play it, so I helped her get it all set up and ready to go. And I actually also replayed it on Android recently, so...
I'm going to have to double check on my...
Things have changed a little bit since I first blasted it on the podcast a while back. It's a bit better, so I might change that to go ahead and check it out. But I was blasting it for a long time, but I actually got it to work again. Yay. So I was able to play it. It's a bit better. Still needs some improvement, though. Anyway, a Friends Forever collection of blind bag ponies has been announced, and it's a Toys R Us exclusive. They're getting a lot of pony exclusives.
They're getting a lot of exclusives.
The set will include Doctor Who's, Apple Bloom, Octavia, Lyrica, Celestia, Luna, Pinkie Pie, DJ Pony, Mrs. Cake, and Mr. Cake.
Interesting collection.
Yes, indeed. In a bit of strangeness, blind bag pony rings have been found. They appear to be releasing in Eastern Europe, but they may get a further release in the future.
Yeah, and they're kind of odd looking.
Yeah,
they look like first style blind bags.
Yeah, it's just, you got it's old blind bags. So you got the old Fluttershy based off the Dash mold, and you got the old Unicorn Twilight and all that stuff.
Mm.
So it looks like it's Wave 1 blind bags, and they take the little hole in the bottom of the who looks like they just kind of stick them on a peg on the top of a ring. So if you're in Eastern Europe and you want blind bags, this might be an easy way to just get them, just pop them off the ring. If you want a pony pillow but don't want the shame of a Nakamura, you can go to Walmart for pony pillows. If you don't know what that is, well... lucky you, I guess.
Who says there's shame?
They have a face on one side, a cutie mark on the other, and a bunch of frills around the edges. Right now, Dash, Twilight, and Pinkie are the ones available. So, there you go. Pony pillows.
Pony pillows.
They're basically throw pillows.
Yeah, basically.
So, okay, the SDCC Pony exclusive has been revealed, San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
And it's Maniac, from Power Ponies.
Yep.
And, well, Humdrum, but meh. There'll also be an Equestria Girls version of the villain and an 8-page comic that will also appear in the 2014 MLP annual comic. The comic which is basically Maniac going to the Equestria Girls world, which that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that does.
The pony figure is priced at $49.99 and the EQG doll is at $29.99. So if you want the full set, you have to pay $80.
Yeah.
Or plus some tax.
Yep.
In the likely chance you are not going to SDCC, there will also be a small stock available on HasbroToyShop.com shortly after the con. And here's the thing.
Those go quick.
It depends. Like, Derpy went in almost instantly. Vinyl stuck around for like several weeks. But this may or may not be super popular. So just, they go up without announcement. Just one day, like a couple weeks after the Comic-Con is over, it'll just show up. And you have to just kind of be there and ready. Popular stuff goes fast on that site. And then, so if you're patient, don't pay any eBay scalpers. There will be a lot of them. They will be selling these at like twice the price. Don't pay them. Wait for Hasbro Toy Shop. If these are like last year, you might be able to get these at retail price pretty easily because vinyl was around for like a month.
Yeah, we got a few of them.
Yeah. So, but unlike Derpy, who was super popular and went in like minutes, I think what happened was they overproduced because they thought it'd be another Derpy, and so who knows how things will go this year.
Yeah.
So just watch it if you really want it, or both. A catalog called Previews Magazine Plus, apparently they're like a catalog for like comic shops and whatnot, has listed a bunch of 40E plushies for order, some of which were not revealed yet. All of them are scheduled for November release, and some of these, well, we've got Applejack, which I believe was previously revealed, yes.
I believe so, yes.
Derpy was not, and that's been revealed now.
Yep.
Doctor Who's, who was previously revealed, and Fluttershy as well, who's been long awaited.
Long awaited.
Dash, who's known just because she's main 6, but never we have seen.
They said that they were working on her, but hadn't shown any images.
Yeah, they hadn't shown but we knew they were being working on.
Yes,
because she's main 6 Rarity, who's also been confirmed. But we're also getting a Trixie.
Interesting.
Luna, which we knew, but we got finally get a picture.
Now we
of
get
it.
a picture.
And Celestia,
Yep.
which we've never even knew about until recent to this news. Future Twilight.
Yep.
And Princess Twilight.
Bet you're happy about that one.
Yeah. All of which are listed for a November release, like I said. And most of them are $25, except for Celestia and Luna, who will be $60 due to their larger size, and in Luna's case, the expense of the fabric.
Yeah, that blue's expensive.
Curiously, though, Future Twilight was on the initial listing, and then they edited it because they made a price mistake. And when they made that edit, they also removed Future Twilight from the listing and removed her picture. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, considering, there's a picture, so it exists. So it's not like it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on there. But, yeah, so for me, I got 2 Twilights to buy in November.
I've got quite a few.
And if you're collecting them all, well, it's going to be an expensive month.
I've got quite a few because I collect those.
Yeah, if you want to collect them all, it's going to be an expensive month for you.
Might have to space them out.
Yeah, good luck with that, because the original Twilight is sold out.
Well, I'll prioritize the important ones, the ones that'll sell it quicker.
So, be on the lookout November. Not sure, not listed or anything anywhere for pre-order yet, but apparently through this catalog, you can go to a local comic shop, ask them to order, and they'll order for you, and then you just go and pay for it when it comes. So, you can try that. If your comic shop uses this catalog or something, or whatever local hobby, I don't know what exactly shops use it, but if they do use this, order through this catalog, you can order through them. So go check that out if you were interested. Series 2 of the Funko Mystery Minifigures, which we talked about previously, have been officially revealed now. That was a leak before. The reveals come with higher resolution pictures, and they'll have an October release date, apparently.
Yay.
And if you don't want to chance it for the mystery ones, you can also pre-order them individually on ToyWiz. Already opened.
Yep. Those ones are a bit more expensive.
Yeah, about twice the price.
Yeah.
Because they have to open them and check them, and you have to pay people to do that. Hasbro is webcasting their 2014 second quarter earnings this month. Why is this important? Well, they revealed a bunch of new stuff last time, so hopefully this time won't be much different, because last time there was a bunch of new information that came out of that. So hopefully this one will be the same. And remember, this will be Hasbro in general, so it will be more than ponies. Anyway, and finally, in case you haven't heard it yet, Rainbow Dash does in fact make an appearance in Transformers 4, the Age of Extinction, the new Michael Bay Transformers movie. If you're not willing to pay to see it, which I don't blame you, there's a clip of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty blatant reference.
Yeah, it's
not
blatant.
A subtle background thing.
That's not an Easter egg or like a little tiny Easter egg or something. It is a blatant MLP appearance,
essentially.
Yeah. It's just, and it's not worth seeing the movie just for this. I know some people have said it. I'm not sure how many of them are joking or not, but don't see this movie just for that, because it is not worth it. It's really late into the movie, so it's not worth. I'm going to say that I'm a Transformers fan who went to see this movie, and I kind of regret it. So yeah, that's it for the news. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the show, though, we're going to talk about, conventions.
Just in general.
And for most part, basically we want to kind of start off maybe some of you are new to conventions, or maybe kind of had a bad convention experience because you didn't know exactly what you were doing last time. Well, we just kind of want to talk about briefly, or maybe not so briefly, I don't know. Depends on how this goes. Yep. We kind of want to talk about basically maximizing your enjoyment and, others' enjoyment through your actions.
Yes, that's actually something you have to think about.
Yes. As probably know, conventions are numerous and there's a lot to choose from, and let's say, okay, you choose, okay, there's a convention fair, I want to go to because there's a guest I want to meet, or it's local, or whatever, the convention you want to go to, maybe you just want to have the experience. So maybe you're new to it. So what the heck do you do exactly? Number one, this is the most important part for pre-convention setup. Budget.
Yes.
Budgeting is extremely important. Going to a convention adds up. Money adds up very fast.
You will be surprised just how quickly the numbers increase.
Yeah, you're sitting there it's only going to be. You're badge is only $70, and I can do that. And then from there,
yeah, the badge only costs, but it's going to cost you how much more to
depending on how you do that. If it's not local, that means
even if it is, you still have to take transportation.
Yeah. There's transportation in general, so if you're driving there, that's gas money.
Yep.
If you're staying at the hotel, you have to pay for a hotel room, which hotel rooms are not cheap.
No, they are not.
Like, we're talking about like what, $100-something a month at least, or not month, night at least.
Yeah. Well, an example, Everfree Northwest, we
Yes.
went to last year. I'm planning on going again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the discounted room block price for the convention itself, that's $119 a night, and that's just the base price.
Yeah,
One thing you have to watch out with hotels:
amenities.
Every amenity costs a lot of money, and then they'll add gratuity. Average, you're thinking 5%, 10% sales tax, and 19% gratuity to all amenities.
Mm-hmm.
It adds up rapid.
Yeah, and plus sometimes if you're driving, you got to pay for parking. Sometimes, usually,
Yep.
Most of these places they will charge you for parking.
You might be able to find a cheaper hotel around, but then you're going to start. Then you have to take into account getting between the convention and the hotel, which might be more driving, which
or
means
walking.
then you have to deal with. Yeah,
But
so you got to.
So that's one thing. Hotel, and if it's far away, you're probably going to fly.
Yep.
Which is another probably $300
If
for
you're
round
coming
trip tickets.
Round trip cross country is going to put you around $300.
It depends, if it's
Depending
not cross
on
country, it's going to
when-
be cheaper. Still, we're talking about a couple $100.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
international? Whew.
yeah. So assuming you stay for, I don't know, if you're flying in, that means you're probably staying Thursday night, or if it's a weekend convention, that means
Yeah.
you're probably staying Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, and probably
flying
maybe
out-
checking
maybe-
out Sunday evening, or possibly staying Monday night
Yeah.
or Sunday night.
It depends on.
That's
a
3
few
to 4
factors.
nights. That's probably roughly, let's say, $150 a night. That's 100.
Even making it cheap, because you
Yeah.
usually get them discounted for longer times. Even saying 100, because we're paying
Yeah.
$120 a
yeah,
night
120, 150,
at
$100
base
a night.
cost.
You're talking about like $400 just for the hotel.
Just in base costs. Yes.
Yeah, and then another 200 to 300, let's say, for the flight.
Yeah.
So that's what right there. That's like $500-$600
Mm-hmm.
right there,
Base costs.
plus the badge, which is almost $100 by itself.
Yep.
And then this is the one people always forget about: food. You're going to be buying food.
Yep.
And often you're in an area. If you're not going to a franchise, you're probably going to see significant markups a lot.
Yes.
Just because they realize there's a bunch of convention people in town, so all of a sudden everything goes up in price, or it's just sales taxes are weird in this area and they're way higher than what you're used to, or something.
Yep.
So
Even
then,
if you try and go cheap and stop by a 7-Eleven every day.
you're talking about like $10 or so per meal at least.
Yep.
If not more, unless you want to go like get splurge a bit. But yeah, we're talking about $10 a meal, and and if the hotel doesn't like offer a complimentary breakfast, which sometimes they do,
Sometimes they do.
but that means
Sometimes
3 meals a
it's
day
an
at
amenity.
$10. That's $30 a day at least.
At least. And that's at least. If you want to go somewhere even semi-nice, you're going over $10 a meal.
At least, yeah. So that's Friday, Saturday. That's $90 plus probably other meals surrounding if you're flying in. So
Yep.
we're talking about another $150-ish, maybe $120-ish. Yeah,
Depending
somewhere
on
like
how long-
$120.
Yeah,
So
if you're
right
coming
there,
in for over 4
we're
days.
talking about
yeah.
$800 just to go to a convention. Then there's the cost of buying stuff there. You're going to want to
what
buy
if you wanna
stuff.
buy stuff.
That's
So-
probably going to be another $200 easily, because this stuff adds up. Because at conventions, none of the merchandise is going to be cheap. We're talking about $20 here, $30 there, $50 there,
Yep.
and it adds up. You're
Say
going to
you want
probably
to get autographs.
yeah. Autographs
that's
usually
usually
cost
$20,
if not more.
Yeah.
So we're talking about easily you'll spend $200 just on stuff.
Yep.
That's probably basic. So we're talking about $1,000 for a convention.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, if you cannot afford $1,000,
If you're
forget
flying
it.
in. Yeah.
That's if
You're flying. If you're not flying in, you
you're
can take a couple
still
$100
like
off of that.
$600-$700 at least.
But you're
if not flying in.
still looking 600, $700. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking like 700. You're still looking at triple digits, so it's expensive.
I think my last hotel cost for last Everfree Northwest was mid to high $300 just for the hotel.
Granted, this is
itself.
assuming you're by yourself, though. So if you have friends you can go with,
That
do
will
it.
help.
They can
Yes.
help split the cost of the hotel room. Not so much the tickets though, but
No,
hotel
'cause-
room can definitely that's one of the biggest expenses of the hotel room.
Yep.
So they can help split it, and like you and 3 other people, or even if it's not friends, if you're willing to trust other people that you don't know, some people are willing to room with others.
Yep.
To just help.
See if there's
bring the
anyone
cost
who's
down.
got. I know a lot of the forums for the individual conventions.
Mhm.
They'll have people who are saying, "I've got open space in one of my room. Does anyone want to
don't
share it?"
By the way,
I mean, if you, that's one you got to trust people on.
Yeah.
But there are people who do offer that.
so yeah, so if you're willing to trust someone else,
That can definitely help.
It can drop it significantly. Rather than paying $120 a night, now you're suddenly paying only $40 a night or $30 a night, which is a lot easier to swallow.
Yeah.
So if you can, room with someone else, and just also remember though, most hotels frown upon more than 4 people per room.
Yeah,
they really
do.
don't like if you try to pack in more people.
Yeah, there's fire codes and things that are involved. They can't. Yeah,
I mean, they also, some of them do offer like an extra cot, which means they know that sometimes, yes, people do try to pack 5 people in a room, and they're usually okay with that. But when you're trying to pack 8 people in a room, they kind of get no.
Yeah, they'll still probably stop you if they find out.
Yeah, if they find out, they will get really upset with you. So that's right there. Budget. So budget is a big thing. We're talking about anywhere from probably $500 to $1,000 easy.
Depending on if you're flying in, how far you're flying in from, how long you're staying, and also don't cut your budget close. If you think you can just barely make it, don't.
Yeah, if you're just squeaking
something's going to come up.
Yeah,
just plan for something to come up and give yourself an extra margin.
Yep. Like, oh crap, someone just broke something. I just accidentally broke something at a vending. So guess what?
That, or something goes wrong, or something's delayed, or like something gets delayed. Now you have to pay for an extra meal, or just something. Yeah. Something will come up.
Just know that. So if you're barely squeaking by, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you think you can, if it's looking like you can barely squeak through, do not. You need to have don't sacrifice the rest of your budget just to make it for a month. It's like, don't sacrifice meals just for the sake of going to one convention. Just don't. It's not worth it ever.
It's not. They're fun, but not at that kind of an expense.
We're talking serious money is plunked down for one weekend. Yep. I mean, if it's a single day, that changes a little bit, but still, not much. Not a lot, especially if you have to fly in still.
Mm-hmm. And flying in for a single day, that really starts questioning.
If you're really close, and there's possible ways to, like, if you don't want to stay in the hotel room, if you know someone or are willing to, sometimes people do open up their homes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
If they're local, like, or if it's a really local one, you may be able to pull driving, which will, driving with, spending money on gas can cost less than getting a hotel room and stuff like that.
Driving out to Everfree. If we do that, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah, but it's also, remember, you're going to have to get up really early. And
then you have to leave before things are done. You miss out on things because you have to drive all the way back.
You also have to pay for parking and do that.
Yeah, and then you have to pay for parking every single night.
Yeah, you still have to do that. If you drive to the hotel like we are, you still have to pay for parking, but I think the rate is higher if you're not staying.
You get a reduced rate if you're actually staying at the hotel.
Yeah, so just watch it. Just watch out. Hotels like to just kind of surprise you with hidden things, so just watch it.
That's where they make their money, really.
Always have it, at least if you're budgeting, and also another thing when it comes to budget, and you're planning to buy things, try to bring cash.
Please, that makes things
for the vendor
so much nicer.
Cards if you can, use cards at, like, the restaurants and whatnot, and then in the vendor hall, cash.
A lot of them will take cards, but most of them is wireless type stuff, like little squares.
The squares.
Sometimes they'll have issues working because cell reception's down.
Reception is bad, or just the sheer number of people.
It's just so much quicker, even if the reception's good. It just takes longer to go through the card process than just hand the cash, done, let the next person get in line.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So I think we've kind of beaten the budget thing. It's like, so just make sure.
Yeah.
Budget well.
Yes.
So we've beaten that in the ground, because that's what's probably one of the most important things.
That is probably the most important.
On a personal enjoyment level, one thing you should definitely do, if you pre-register, which a lot of us do, you're probably going in not knowing everything is going to happen. You're probably going because of convenience or because other people are going or something. Mm-hmm. As time goes on, they're going to start releasing news, and as we, feature like every week.
Yes.
They're going to release news and panel information and guests and stuff. You're going to start they're eventually going to release, the schedule. You're going to want to look at that and decide what you want to do.
Yep.
It's easier on you and stuff if you're trying to figure out, what do I want to do? You're not just standing there lost one day because I don't know what I want to do now. You should try to do at least some preliminary planning before this con, so you can try to get something done. Try to get everything done and have fun doing it. And so, see, what am I interested in? What do I want to see? And start planning around that. I know this, because of convention, just the way conventions are, there's a good chance you'll have to sacrifice something for some other thing.
Yep. And there's also, part of your pre-planning, you might not make it in.
Yeah, there's that too. If you're not, because a lot of some of these panels, like Everfree Northwest, they always have at least one voice actor panel. That's always one of the most popular panels.
Yep. There's a chance
the lines for those usually start like an hour beforehand. So
yes, they do. It's a lot of standing and waiting for that.
Yeah, so just know that a lot of this stuff you have to be lining up at least half an hour beforehand, if not earlier. So you can't just walk in at the start date. So that remember to factor that in. So a lot of the stuff, you might have to say, there's this panel lets out, and then half an hour later this panel starts. You might not make it to that next panel.
Depending on how popular that next panel is, you probably aren't going to make it.
If you think it's probably not going to be that popular, you can always check.
Yeah.
But it's also part of the time it's like you sometimes have to walk a significant amount of time.
Depending on how the convention's set up, there's walking time between panels, so
you might
not
make it.
By the time you get to the line, it might be too full.
Yeah. So, and also remember this: sometimes 2 panels will be in a row that you might want to see in the same room. However, they frown upon you just sitting, unless they specifically say you can stay in. Don't. They will probably try to herd you out.
They want to give everyone a chance. So just staying in a room or like going to a panel right before the one you want to go to, just try and stay in there. Yeah, no, don't do that. That's rude.
They probably
will
won't
probably
let
kick
you.
you
They
out.
probably they'll probably tell you to get out. They'll tell you. They'll eventually ask you. They'll ask you, and eventually they'll tell you if you refuse.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
So that's one thing for personal enjoyment. I'm trying to think. Another one is, just again, ties into budget, but look at the vendor hall. I mean, vendor halls usually are open, in vendor hall, vendor room, whatever they call it. Usually that's open the whole weekend.
Yep.
Look at that. Kind of don't just make an impulse buy. Don't do that. I mean,
you shouldn't do that in any case, really.
But yeah, just don't see, oh my gosh, I need to buy. Just don't do that. I mean, especially if it's particularly expensive. It's like $2.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's $2.
$2.
But just kind of look around. Before you buy anything, just kind of take one look around, trying to decide, like, you might want to see something you like, and then you find some other version of the same thing, but someone does it better, and you might regret what you just bought.
Last thing you want to do is, or worse, you see something you like, you buy it, then you go and see something you like better, maybe something different that's more expensive, but now you can't afford it because you.
Yeah, so just like, kind of.
And then you get.
I mean, sometimes a lot of this stuff is limited quantity, so it's kind of a gamble. It's like you can either kind of like walk around and kind of decide early on, or you can. Just say, could you hold this for the next few minutes?
I mean, just ask.
Even if it's just not, just ask if they'll hold it for you.
I can get money. Just ask.
Just ask them to hold it for you for the next few minutes. They might say no, but it's like, look, I want to buy this. I just want to make sure. Could you hold it for the next few minutes? Because especially if it's like a one-off or limited or something. Because some stuff sells very quickly, and some of it is like one of a kind. I've gotten a few items which are literally, this is the only one in existence.
Yep. You will see a lot of the handmade stuff at conventions. So.
Yes, plushies, drawings, all that stuff. That's what you mostly see in the vendor hall is plushies and
plushies, art, and customs.
Yeah, custom made, custom.
Yeah, like custom painted blind bags. I've got a Rainbow Dash keychain that's painted with Wonderbolt's outfit. I don't know how many of those are in existence. Probably only a handful.
Especially since they're hand painted, so there might be another one like it, but it's not going to be exactly the same. So just that's try to get some sleep.
Please.
It's going to be difficult, but just for your own personal enjoyment, try to get some sleep every night. Because yes, a lot of these places also have the nightly music things, which run well into the morning. But if you're feeling drowsy, don't just stay there. Go ahead and get some sleep, because the next day,
you will regret it if you don't the next morning when you wake up at noon and you missed out on a panel or you fall asleep in the panel. That's
I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I think
people fall asleep in the middle of the day. Just another thing. For your own personal comfort, wear good shoes.
Yes. You will be on your feet. You'll be walking.
Most of the weekend, you will be walking.
Or standing in a line.
Yes.
So
yes, you'll be sitting at panels, but there will be a lot of standing.
There will be
comfortable
probably
shoes.
More standing than, as much, if not more standing than sitting.
Yeah. Unless you sit down in the line, which sometimes happens.
Which does sometimes, if you're there early enough.
Yeah, so remember, comfortable shoes.
Yes.
Don't wear really, like dress shoes. Those pinch and get uncomfortable. Wear some nice. Just wear nice. Don't wear a new pair of shoes that you're still breaking in.
Yeah, that would get uncomfortable. You'll break them in really quick, but you'd be uncomfortable for quite some time.
Just wear a nice, comfortable pair of shoes that you have.
Yeah.
Just nice and comfortable. You'll be walking a lot.
Another thing, when you're in the vendor halls and such, and pretty much everywhere, don't block the hallways, please.
speaking of that, this more than personal enjoyment of others.
Yes.
Don't stop, and if you need to like look at like the schedule to figure out where you're going or something,
Get off to the side of the hall.
side of the hall. Go up against the wall if you can. Just get out of the main walkway. Do not stop in the middle and block. I've seen this way too many times where someone just stops and blocks up the whole walkway.
Yeah, if you need to stop and look at something like your phone or schedule, get off to the side of the hall, just out of the main walkways. Don't stand in front of doorways either.
No. Don't stand in doorways.
Don't stand in doorways because that's just really annoying and you'll block people's entrance and exits. Mm-hmm. It's also possible fire violation. Mm-hmm. And if the door's closed, you might get hit if someone decides to open it. Mm-hmm. It's just especially not a good idea.
Particularly if it opens outward.
Yeah, it's just really not a good idea to stand in front of doorways.
I've seen people get slammed with one of those. Again, yeah, I've seen people get slammed to the door just because they weren't paying attention to where they're standing.
Yeah. So don't be that guy that blocks the door or hall.
I was also speaking of being courteous to others. This is a really nasty problem, and it's unfortunate we have to even bring it up. Hygiene.
Yeah. Please.
Seriously.
Shower.
Deodorant. Don't care about your personal musk or some nastiness like that.
And I don't care if you can't smell it.
Every day.
Yeah, I don't care if you can't. If you don't think you stink.
You do.
That's just because you probably don't notice it.
You probably don't notice yourself as much until it gets really bad.
Yeah.
By that point, everyone else has noticed a long time ago.
Just for everyone's sake, shower deodorant, please.
Please, every day, shower. I don't care if you usually don't. Shower. Don't care if you're running late. Shower.
Yes.
People are going to notice.
Yep.
And cologne does not substitute a shower ever.
No.
All you don't smell good. You smell like someone who smells like BO and
too much cologne.
Yeah.
It doesn't mask it. It just combines with it and you smell both.
Yeah. So showers and deodorant. If you are someone who you think you're going to be sweating a lot,
bring a stick with you.
Bring it with you in a bag or something, and go midway through the day, go through the bathroom and apply it again.
Yep.
That's one thing. And if you're someone who for some reason can't wear most normal deodorant because of some allergy or irritation, there's those non-irritant brands.
Well, yeah, there's two primary ones. You get the antiperspirant and the non-antiperspirant. Yeah.
But just get
some people don't. Some people have issues with the antiperspirant kinds.
Yeah, or whatever. Just have an issue. There's the non-irritant brands. Those can work, but also it might be just a little. It's just better for everyone because otherwise you reek, and it combines with everyone else who's doing the same thing you are, and it's this awful smell. And eventually you kind of get used to it until you get outside and you're like, whoa, and then you come back in and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So please, personal hygiene. It's necessary, and most cons. It's so sad that almost every con has some sort of thing
every convention
in their booklet or guidebook saying, please wear deodorant, please shower.
Yes.
Bathe in some, shower, bathe something. Just
be clean.
Clean is good.
And to continue that topic, germs.
Yes, that's germs. Yeah. If you're sick, I mean like really sick, don't go. I don't care if you already paid for it.
I know it sucks not being planned and then getting sick, but really, we don't want another PAX Prime 09 where some guy showed up with swine flu. I mean, we probably won't have swine flu again, but really, if you're really sick, you do not want to be spreading it to others. It'll make everyone else's lives miserable.
If it's like anything beyond a cold, seriously, do not go.
We don't want it. No one else wants it.
It real sucks, yes, and it means you probably just wasted a bunch of money. Some things like hotel and airline might be able to refund, and you're going to be like maybe $100 in the hole because of your badge. But because I think with a lot of the way most pony conventions set up, you can't just give it away to someone else.
Yeah, it's tied to your name and such.
Most of them set up, it's tied to you, so you can't just give it to someone else.
And most hotels, you don't actually have to pay till you show up, so
it'll just be canceled. So airline will be a little bit more difficult, but you might be able to get a refund. Or they'll probably just kind of turn into frequent flyer miles or some sort, or flyer
something
miles
like that.
Then
so you might be able to give you a credit for next year.
Yeah. So if you really, I'm serious. If you're really sick, don't go. If it's like a cold,
bring hand sanitizer and a mask.
Yeah, actually, in general, even if you're not sick, just hand sanitizer.
That's a good thing to have.
Just have hand sanitizer. If you are like sick and coughing or sneezing a lot, surgical mask is your best bet because you're not going to spread it. It looks weird.
It's kind of uncomfortable to wear, but really, it's just for the benefit of everyone. Yeah, please.
And also just resist. Try not to touch a lot of things unless.
Look with your eyes, not with your hands.
Just don't touch stuff, particularly if you're sick. Just unless you are going to buy it, then you can touch it. But still, just just so don't touch a lot of stuff. And if you are going to be people are going to be browsing, and remember, this is a place where a lot of people are packed into a small area, shoulder to shoulder, breathing each other's air and everything. It's likely, there's a good chance you will get sick anyway. If you go to the convention, you're not sick, you'll come back sick because you got something from someone else. This is almost inevitable anymore.
Yeah, we call it con crud.
Yeah, it's con crud.
It's a common thing
You'll
to
get
happen.
something. It's actually usually pretty minor, to be honest. It's
usually you get like sniffles or something
it's
like
a
that.
couple days usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a minor cold, if anything. Because someone has something. But
if you got something serious, don't show up.
Yeah, please don't.
We don't want to be, yeah.
I know it really sucks especially if you're looking forward to it,
but really, if you're really that sick, you probably won't be enjoying yourself anyway as much.
You'll just make everyone else miserable.
Yeah, you'll just be miserable while you're there, and then everyone else will be miserable because they pick up whatever you had.
Yeah, and speaking of like picking up stuff and looking at like the vendor hall, try to be mindful of like that. A lot of these vendor halls, the way they're set up, it's kind of narrow. Be mindful of that when you're browsing stuff. Try to be out of the way. Try to be kind of quick. Don't just sit there just kind of glazing at stuff. If you just be mindful, there are other customers. The artist is not going to appreciate some guy just sitting there not buying anything when there's people who do want to buy stuff.
Yep, because now you're blocking sales.
Yeah, and they're not going to be happy about that. Most of them probably be polite not to say anything, but
yeah,
and it's also. Yes, it's go ahead and talk to people. I mean, friendship
that's
and everything.
Why you're there.
Yeah, go ahead and talk to people. Go ahead and talk to vendors, ask questions. But if they're making it clear that they don't want to talk anymore, I mean, let's be honest. Some of us have a difficult time reading social signals.
We do, yeah.
If they're like constantly looking away or checking their phone or kind of start doing other things, and
or if they're trying to conduct sales with another customer,
they're just kind of starting to go that means they probably want out of the conversation. So let them go.
Yes.
Yes, I know sometimes, but sometimes people are busy, or some people are just, remember, you're probably one of them. People are sometimes have a hard time talking to other people. It takes them a while. So they'll be able to talk to you a little bit, but after a while it's like, okay, you're overstaying your welcome, please go.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are just either too polite or too timid to say anything.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah. Particularly vendors, though. If you're talking to it's okay to talk to a vendor, especially if it's like a slow point. But if they're trying to sell things or someone else has a question, please let them do what they're there to do. They are there to sell things. Please let them.
And don't block again. And this is probably one of blocking hallways is most especially important in the vendor halls.
I remember the first ever free, it was a mess, particularly
especially the We Love Fine booth.
Everything was a mess. Everyone was just packed over there.
They had to constantly have people come in and try and clear the line out because at that point it is a major fire hazard.
Yeah. Plus, basically, this whole corner was you can't get through it.
Yep. Couldn't do it.
So like, there's other booths being blocked by because of the We Love Fine booth.
Yep.
So just be mindful of what you're doing. Just be mindful of where you are and everything. Be mindful of and other personal space as well. Don't be leery. This shouldn't be a thing, but sometimes if it's clear you're making someone else uncomfortable, please
leave them alone. Yes.
Yeah. Regardless, I know sometimes you meet someone you would think you want to get to know them better, but if they make it clear that they're not interested, back off.
Yes.
Just. I know sometimes it sucks, but back off, okay? Please. It's just for everyone's enjoyment. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a creeper.
Yeah.
And again, if you are on the receiving end of that and someone is making you really uncomfortable, like to the point where you're kind of afraid or something, really real talk, go to a staff member of the con. If it's a staff member that's freaking you out, go to a hotel staff member. And if it really seems like it's really bad, go ahead and authorities.
Yes.
I'm dead serious. It's if it really is that bad, or if it's a really particularly risky situation, call the authorities. It's okay.
Yes,
they'll shut down everything while they investigate, but it's better that everyone be safe than something happen.
Yep. Safety is key.
Oh yeah. Remember, and of course, some of these are common things. Like, if you find something that some item that's obviously not supposed to be somewhere, lost and found stuff. Most of these conventions will have it. If you lose something, check the lost and found. Hopefully no one just kind of went off with it.
Yeah, and if you find someone lost, don't steal it.
Yeah, please don't steal things.
Please don't steal it. No one appreciates that.
It should be obvious, but It's not yours just because you found it.
Yes.
Finders is not keepers. Lost and found.
Imagine if you were the person who lost something.
Yeah. And, oh yeah, by the way, if you have cards, like credit cards, keep it on you at all times.
Yes, never lose track of your wallet.
Yeah. And also, again, if you, all of a sudden your wallet disappears or something, call your bank, cancel everything.
Yep.
Report it stolen, all that stuff.
Yep.
Even if you find it later, just cancel the cards. You never know. They might have just looked at the cards, got numbers, and put it back.
Yep.
So
it sucks, but it's better than the alternative.
It's better than losing thousands of dollars later just because someone stole your identity and you sold your identity stuff to someone unscrupulous parties.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty much kind of your general, I guess, crash course in con stuff.
It's kind of hard. A lot of it will be a little bit different based on what convention you're going to.
Some of these are smaller, so it's not going to be a big deal. But
and everyone's different.
Almost forgot too.
So
another thing, if there's clear areas marked off that say "do not enter" or don't have the right credentials to enter, don't sneak in. Don't try to get past anyway. Don't be don't monopolize. If there's a media area and you don't have a media badge, don't go there. If there's like a sponsor area for like the higher tier badges and you don't have one, don't go in there unless you're specifically invited by a staff person and they say, yeah, it's okay to go in this one time. Cool, go in. But if they otherwise, just don't try to get in.
Just don't bother. It just causes way too much mess trying to get you out.
Yes, you'll probably get kicked out.
Yeah, and it won't look good for you.
Yeah, it's just be mindful of that. Just try to keep all this stuff in mind, and you'll probably wind up having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these conventions, remember, some conventions are kind of low-key, so some of this stuff might not apply because it's kind of small. Others, they're pretty big, like BronyCon, Everfree, BabsCon, so on. Those are all pretty big things, so they will be crowded and stuff. So
yeah,
just keep in mind with all this stuff, and you probably will have a good time. Oh yeah, and hotel rooms, late at night, be quiet.
Please.
There are other people in the hotel, and they might probably want to sleep, and people who aren't even part of the convention. Don't give the fandom a bad reputation.
Yes.
Or I guess a worse reputation in some cases.
Yeah.
It's just. But after a certain point, it's kind of considered, I guess, courteous after, I guess, like 8 or so to just kind of start being quiet in your hotel room. So, keep in mind of that.
Just keep other people in mind when you're there. You're not the only one attending the convention. Yeah. Other people are there too, and they want to have a good time. Don't ruin it for them.
So, that's it for con stuff. Hope you guys have a con season. So, I hope you guys, if you decided to go to con, have a good time. And if you need help, well, there you go. If you didn't need help and this was a waste of your time, sorry. But anyway, we have a comic to talk about. It is the finale to the Reflections arc, issue 20 of the mainline MLP comic. And in this comic, well, as we know, Celestia was in love with the other Sombra, visited him multiple times, and now the dimensions are destabilizing, and the main 6 are going to stop the evil Celestia and Luna from the other dimension. That's kind of basically the gist of it. I mean, and of course, fighting happens, and the dimensions start to, as I found out that what happens to one like Celestia affects the other, and what happens to one Luna affects the other, and whatnot. So, and the dimensions kind of come together, and madness ensues.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really, without going into spoilers. But out of curiosity, what did you think?
I actually thought it was pretty good. There wasn't a amount of story meat, but we already had that in the earlier ones. This is the final, just the culmination.
Right.
So a lot of action scenes.
Yeah, this one has a lot of action comparatively. So
yep. It's the action issue.
Yeah. Although, if I'm going to be honest, I was kind of a little disappointed with this one.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't really, I guess, wrap up in the way I was hoping it would. But, I mean, it was still all right. It's just kind of just a little disappointing in some regards. Like, oh, that's how we went with it? Or, oh, that didn't happen or something.
I guess.
But, I don't know. It almost felt like at times the main 6 were almost unnecessary. Although, there were a couple nice little jokes and stuff here in the background. But this was a little bit more serious than a lot of their fears. A lot of those little references in the background weren't as prolific as in other Cook Price comics.
Mm-hmm.
Although there was one joke which I kind of was like, groaned at because it was a Pinky breaking the fourth wall joke. And it's like, you actually went to that? It's kind of I've always said that's kind of lazy.
It's been used a lot.
Yeah, anymore it's kind of become a lazy thing. So overall, it's still, it's the final issue of the arc, so you're probably going to pick it up anyway if you're already in. So
yeah,
I guess it's a good way to end it. It's just kind of, there's a lot of disappointing stuff about it too. Like, it's kind of, and also it doesn't help to kind of tease a little bit about some of the stuff people wanted to see.
Yeah.
So
a short little ending thing there.
Yeah, there's a little extra comic that kind of is a bit of a tease about stuff like people wanted to see, and it's kind of disappointing in a way. Otherwise, though, yeah, it was a pretty good arc. Still had a few troublesome bits. So go pick it up.
Yeah.
Worth the $4, I guess. And oh yeah, if you're going to Everfree, you can pick up the variant.
Yes.
With the Everfree variant. So go look at that. Or what, Phoenix Comics and Phoenix Comics and Games in Seattle. And yeah, that's it for the comics. So we have fan content as well.
We do.
And we're gonna kick it off with a couple music tracks that Alcatraz found.
Yeah. First one I've got for you is "Mare in the Moon" by Patrick Poe. This is an artist that I actually haven't heard of before, so it's kind of out of the blue here. And this is it's a nice lullaby song about Luna. Uses a couple little snippets from the main theme too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good, nice and calm, and it's a lullaby.
Yeah, lullaby, definitely. Because if you're feeling sleepy, you're gonna start feeling even more sleepy.
Yeah.
It is definitely a lullaby style song. It's very soft and calming, and lots of, I guess, bell types. Not bell, but
it's got the light piano and all that you'd expect.
Yeah, they also get those bits that sound like, a baby's wind up thing. So can't remember what you call it.
Chimes, I guess.
Chimes, bells, sort of. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice, soothing music. Pretty good. Definitely not something for high energy though. So
no, definitely not. The next one I've got is "Cold" by Synthis, featuring Forever Free Ronnie and Fritzy B.
Hold me in your hopes when my light burns dim, to walk another step, fall down and give in, holding by a thread of changes yet to come, brighter days to bring. A shining sun will set.
It's a pretty good one. If you've listened to some of Synthis' stuff before, it's similar in vein to that, but definitely a really good original vocal in my opinion.
Yeah, I like this one a bit. So I think the problem is for me is it wasn't too memorable. So I'm having a hard time thinking about it, but I'm kind of remember it being okay. But I think for me it just wasn't memorable enough to really stick with me.
All right.
I remember the lullaby better. So I think that's a criticism I have. I guess it's just didn't really stand out.
Not quite as memorable as the rest of them.
Yeah, it didn't really stand out.
Yeah.
So, oh well, happens.
That's the only two I've got this week.
Yep.
So I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, back to me. I have a quick fan fiction. I found it fairly recently. It's called "Leave No Trope Unturned" by Foxy Bubbles. And it's a shipping fic, but
sort of.
Yeah, it's a shipping fic, but the ship itself isn't really that important.
Nope.
And this is, again, another one I can't really talk about too heavily without pretty much spoiling the entire thing. But basically, Twilight in... Well, I think I have to kind of spoil the whole thing, more or less. But
it's 1,000 words.
Yeah, this is over 1,000 words. So basically, Twilight and Pinkie are together and go to tell Rarity, and Rarity guesses as to how it happened. It kind of... It's basically just kind of poking fun at shipping fics in general, and that's kind of what made me like it a lot. So I'm just curious what you thought of it.
Funny.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Funny.
I mean, it was little over 1,000
Really
words. It was
short.
really, really short. Just
Yeah.
kind of nice little chuckle.
Yeah, just kind of
Off
gets,
of that.
yeah, it's just kind of it pokes fun at just shipping fix in general. So
Yep.
even if you are like reeking shipping fix a lot, go check it out anyway. It's not too mean about it or anything. It's just
Yeah.
kind of poking fun a little because let's just be honest, a lot of fanfic kind of blurs together after a while, which is part of the reason why it's sometimes so difficult to find stuff to feature. But anyway, this is the end
The
of our
end.
show.
The end.
If
is
you liked
near.
it and you want to hear past and future episodes, you can go to pony411.libsyn.com. All the downloads are there and will be there in the future as well. You can also go via iTunes. That's, search for Pony411, subscribe, download your iPod and whatnot. Or YouTube, youtube.com/pony411. You can listen to it right there without having to download anything. Or another way to not download and listen is Ponyville FM. You can listen to us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, afterwards, if you like it and want to say something, or you hated it and want to say something, you can contact us. We're pony411podcast@gmail.com. That's our email address, of course. Comments, criticisms, all that stuff. You can go to Facebook, like us there, facebook.com/pony411. Again, also post on our wall or whatever they call it now. They keep changing things. And again, episodes are announced there. And Twitter as well. We're at Pony411.
Go
Okay.
figure.
Yeah, it's like there's a common theme. And you can also contact us on our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alca7raz with an underscore at the end and a 7 instead of a T. You can just check the show notes because it's probably easier.
Yes.
And that's it for this week. We will see you next week with some special episodes. Definitely different from our usual fare.
Yep.
Hope you enjoy it. And until then, and if you're at Everfree, you might see us.
Yep.
Hi in advance. So until next time, please pony responsibly, guys. Bye.